Go for it.
I gave it a cold. I gave it a virus. Computer virus.
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
You don't just rock and black plutonium. Did you rip that off?
I want to play a game. Here's what happens if you lose.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Steel isn't strong, boy. Flesh is stronger.
All right, welcome back to Space Opera Radio. This is season 2, episode 1. It is the long-awaited, beginning of season 2. I know people are expecting this to be out earlier than it actually is, but we had some technical difficulties, and then the holidays hit, and then we had some more technical difficulties. This is literally the second time that we've tried recording this. So, yeah, it is what it is.
The music's kind of loud on my end. Was that loud? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter because we're doing the intro.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I can edit that. I think. I hope. So the whole reason why we're doing it this way is because I have to do less editing.
Yeah. And there's also some fun things that I want to play with that I can.
Yeah. So we're trying to mix it up a little bit, make it a little bit easier for us, so that we can put out more content for you guys.
Also, to give a face to a person, because here I am. I don't know if the video is.
I'm planning on sharing the video.
Are we
planning on sharing the video yet? But I don't have any reason not to.
Let us know if anybody actually watches us, which I know there's a couple people, and you want to know what I look like. Do it. I will do it because we're recording right now.
Yeah. Well, I know that I have like 100 subscribers on my YouTube channel. Like, that's not a lot.
What the?
But there's 100 people there that would. I mean, maybe not all of them would watch it. Maybe like 90% of them don't realize that they're still subscribed to me from like 4 years ago. But
listen, I would watch it.
Oh yeah,
I'm a subscriber to you. I was actually in one of your videos, and it was good.
That's true. The lighting was garbage. I actually recently went back. The lighting was garbage, but
the quality of that video was probably the quality of like a pristine turd in like the middle of a white snowbank. You're like, that's nice, but no,
Yeah. I think I'll pass. Yeah. So Kyle's not here. He's got stuff going on. He can't be here with us. We'll probably end up doing all of season 2 and potentially book 3 without him. We're not sure. He may get to come in, but we're not expecting him to be coming in for stuff.
I was thinking where me and you have the schedule where we can do this and he can't. I think it would be beneficial if he were to give us questions, since we've read, since I've read the book, and you've read the book. I think it would be cool of him to be like, I've got some questions about that, and just kind of send them to you, and then we can go through those.
He could easily, he could text them to us, but he could email. And if you have questions too, you can email them to spaceoperadio@gmail.com, and then your questions can be on here just like Kyle's questions.
Yeah.
Surprise. Yeah. So no, that's not a bad idea. And you were also talking about doing some of this, huh?
Oh, the
Murderbot.
Yeah. Also,
that's the first one.
When you say doing some of this and you don't plan on putting the video out, I'm pretty sure people are like, what is he talking about? Because
I was wanting you to respond.
Oh, the Murderbot series. But for all the people, if we do post this out, look what my brother got me for Christmas. It's a Rosinante model. It's the coolest thing. Like,
It's half scale.
it's like I could fit in it
It's
right
not
now.
half scale. It is not half scale.
It's literally where I live.
Yeah.
No, but
Half scale would
it's.
be ginormous.
And
No,
he
it's
also got me a bunch of stickers, but just like the other sticker that I bought a long time ago, my mother threw them away. So
yeah. Well, enough that. I did actually go through the emails earlier today, and we had one email from a was it a sniper cat or was it in our lands or something like that email. And so I was like, yeah, I don't think that this is necessary that I read this.
what do you
It
mean?
was it
What do you
was a
mean?
little it was a little risque to say the
Oh.
least.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, could you give us a brief you know?
It was no, I can't.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So let's kick into this. We've already recorded this. So I hope that we get some quality content after recording it and then doing a re-record. But hey, let's give it a shot. So I'm gonna read the summary here of chapters prologue through 10, and we'll talk about it. So it kicks off with Ganymede, a young girl named May. She has a medical condition requiring daily medication. She's taken out of class by her doctor, Dr. Strickland, and a lady posing as her mother. They take her to a lab containing a glass case housing someone infected by the protomolecule. Chapter 1 is Bobby. So Martian Marine Bobby, Roberta Draper, is patrolling on Ganymede. Her squad comms drop out and they are seemingly attacked by Earth Marines. It turns out, however, that the UN troops were fleeing from someone infected but with the protomolecule. Shooting the monster doesn't seem to damage it, and it proceeds to rip the Marines apart. Even the Marine in a giant mech. It does this with its bare hands. It's just about to kill Bobby when it grows another arm and then promptly explodes in a ball of fire. Bobby wakes up days later in a hospital. Her superiors don't believe her story about the monster until they watch a video from her suit cam. Space battles around Ganymede between the UNN and the MCRN cause one of the gigantic orbital mirrors used to direct sunlight to the crops inside the domes to crash into the moon. It destroys the lab where Praxidiking Mang, a botanical engineer, works. He evacuates and goes to the daycare to retrieve his daughter May, only to find that she's been taken by Dr. Strickland and a lady the computer system said was her mother. Prax searches every day amongst all the casualties for his daughter, but she never turns up. His brother, whose son is also missing, leaves without his son. During these batch of chapters, we also see Holden and the crew of the Rosinante, Naomi, Amos, and Alex. They are doing work, some mundane work for Fred Johnson. He's now the leader of the OPA on Tycho Station. They're hunting down space pirates when Fred calls them back because of the Ganymede situation. They take an inconspicuous ship, the Somnambulists, which is one that they saved from pirates earlier in the book, to Ganymede. Alex hangs back and the Rossi to check out the situation. We also see Christian Avasarala, assistant to the Undersecretary of the Executive Administration on Earth. She is trying to stave off the coming war between Earth and Mars. She notices that there's a spike in activity around Venus. That's where the protomolecule infected Eros station crashed after the Eros accident. And she knows that during the Ganymede attack, there's a little bit of suspicious activity. She interviews Jules Pierre Mao, thinking perhaps Julie may have contacted him from Venus. He won't admit to anything, but she thinks he knows much more than he's letting on. She also gets intelligence reports saying Holden's on Ganymede and that the Admiral Nguyen is secretly been deploying Earth ships there as well. She pulls some strings and pulls all the ships back, averting a war. Prex gives up food to a hacker in exchange for videos from May's daycare. He finds that the videos of a woman and the doctor, but the hacker won't show him more unless Prex gets him some chicken. All right.
Good, net, great, shuss,
Uh-huh.
Good golly.
So go ahead and tell me how long ago it was when you read this. I'll be right back. I can hear you.
Oh goodness, this was when did we first start? Oh gosh. I want to say back in. I don't know. I want to say
Yeah.
like September. I think September.
Yeah, that's
Because like I didn't read through the summer, and it wasn't until I started going back to school when I started to read, and then that's so I would say September. I mean, I finished book 1 in like 10 days, and then was immediately on to book 2. So I mean, but
a
it's
long time ago.
still, yeah, it's still I could still recall it because it was such a good series that it kind of I don't want to say ingrains into your brain, but it it's so unique that it's like, oh, that happened. I remember this happening. And
Yeah.
the characters, whether you like them or not, they all have kind of like an everlasting effect on you throughout the entire series, and that's what I like about the book.
And even if you read on through this, like there's series that I read where the author's not afraid to. Well, I guess the authors in this series aren't afraid to either, but it just kind of works where they don't. But like the authors kill off their characters, and like if it's a long series, they're just like, we need some fresh blood, so they just like,
Yeah,
like
and
in The Expanse, like yeah, there are a few guys that die, but like the characters are long living characters in the series.
mm-hmm.
Now, granted, it's not like it's not like it's a series that takes place over like 50 years.
Yeah,
I think it takes place over like 15 years or so
I
at the
actually
most.
I did some type of math, and I found math. Whoa, I did some type of math, and I found out that in book 6, Holden is 34.
Hey,
Naomi is 32.
okay.
Amos is 29, so he's my age. What's up, baby? I'm nothing like him. I broke my hand. I literally broke my hand punching a washing machine. So, yeah, this man destroys ships with his bare hands. I can't even close a lid with mine. Yeah, Alex, I think, is the same age as Naomi. I think he's 32,
Is he?
33. So, and from the time book 1 started, it's only been like 7 years, I think.
To the
Like,
beginning of 6.
yeah, like he started out, Holden was like 26 when the book starts out.
Mhm.
And I think, I'm not quite sure. I think he's a little bit older than that, maybe 29,
Yeah.
but he's not in his 30s, like when he gets put into XO, because I've always tried to figure out the timeline, and then I can't really say how I figured it out because that would give
Yeah.
away like 90% of book 6.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
No. Don't worry about that. It makes it so like I feel really old being at work because like I'm pretty low rank and
mhm.
I outrank a lot of like one of my really good friends. He's a master sergeant and he's actually younger than me, and it just makes me go like, like I feel really old. And then you're like talking about this book, and like I'm older than Holden in book 6, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
dude's like, what am I doing
yeah.
with my life?
The stuff that he
Making
does,
videos like this.
like the stuff that he does in book 5. He's that's from book 5 to book 6. I think it's like a year and a half, or
Yeah, about seems reasonable. I just realized that my video is backwards. I hate when it does that.
mine. I don't know. I look at mine and I'm like, that's me. So
All right, stick up your hand, and if that hand is on that side, if it's not, like your hand up
this
here, and
this hand is over here.
yeah, so it's mirrored.
Is that
Like
right?
you see how my name is written backwards on that plaque?
Oh, my shirt's backwards. No, on mine,
That's what
yours
I'm
is
saying.
right.
Does that say Philip on there, or does it
Yeah.
read backwards?
Nope,
Oh,
it's Philip.
okay.
So yours is.
See, we're testing out new embrace.
That-
All right, you're good.
But between that punting car, to me, it's backwards. I don't think we can put that.
No, it's going in. It's going in. You'll have to bear with us because we're working on with some new technology. Yeah. So,
Oh man.
where did our we started off with May,
Talking about
right?
Yeah. No, started off with Bobby.
No, it starts off with May in the prologue.
Oh, okay. I know where we're at now. Hello.
Yeah.
Haha. Go for it.
I'm gonna pull up some like wikis and stuff while we're doing this because I can. Yeah, so May, let's see. She has what is her
Basically, her immune system doesn't exist.
yeah.
Like it doesn't produce. Oh no, it just doesn't exist. Like she doesn't have one.
Myers skeleton suffer Myers skeleton. I don't want to read any.
Listen, we're
Yeah,
not
okay, so
doctors.
she suffers from Myers skeleton premature immunosenescence. So yeah, I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
She got bone disease where she don't have no immune system.
Yeah, it's an immune deficiency.
I'm gonna call it bone disease.
It's a systemic genetic disorder with no known cure. The disorder affects the immune system. A congenital disorder who's affected must take medications for their entire lives.
Bone
So regardless if it's a bone disease or not,
disease.
she's got to take medicine. And we find out. I mean, we get to Prax a little bit later on, but he's really nervous about her missing because she needs to take her medicine or she's gonna die. But yeah, the very first scene is May getting taken from her daycare, and then we go over to Bobby. Bobby's like is chapter 1. Bobby chapter 1, and
well, back it up. They showed May. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't. Oh boy. They take her down into that like creepy. I'm replaying Dead Space 3 with Bo, and some of the corridors reminds me of this scene where he's like taking her into like the abandoned school zones, and like they get to that room with the.
It's like it's the old like Ganymede station. Like they've done a lot of updating on Ganymede since it originally was dug into the moon.
Yeah,
but
and so they show the thing in the box, which
in a box.
when I read that, I was like, okay, these guys are bad, but why you take this kid down? You're like, hey, everything's gonna be okay. Look in this box. Like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like
I think the lady's a bit like messed in the head. You know what I mean? I don't think it was because Dr. Strickland wasn't there when that happened. Like she was sitting there, the lady was sitting there with me. I can't remember her name. It doesn't matter. She's not as important as you might think she might be. But she's just
her fake
like,
mom.
Girl, you wanna see something scary? And you're like, dude, you just walked me through like abandoned hallways for an hour. Like I'm already scared, you know. But yeah, so they show her the fake mom shows May like a proto molecule infected. Dude. We don't know if it's a dude or not.
Yeah, it doesn't say that it's an infected proto molecule. You're kind of spoiling it for everybody. Like it says basically.
If you read it, if you read it, that's what you assume.
But okay, do you know what assuming does?
I don't know.
Anyways, yeah. So then we go to Bobby, which
listen,
Bobby!
They explain it the exact same way they explained Julie when she was like in her apartment, like that when she's all like crystallized and like gross, like
they walked in
the exact same way.
When I think of Julie and I see her, I just like that's.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I hope that worked.
If it didn't, then
I think it did.
Okay. Well, I heard it, so I'm sure that it did.
But yeah, then we get to Bobby, and Bobby, oh boy,
Bobby Draper, which is not to be confused with the other TV character.
No, it is. Her name is Roberta Draper, but she goes by Bobby. And I definitely like the fact that I don't know. It's weird. Like for when they were reading or when they were describing her, I was just like, dude,
Mhm.
this girl, ooh, you know. And then I was getting a little like, dang, okay. And then they were like, she's like 17 feet tall. I'm like, okay,
I
because
don't. She's not 17
no,
feet tall.
I think she's 7'8", something like that.
Is she really that tall? Here,
I
I'll
think
pull her up.
so. Like her whole family. Not only that she's a belter, but she's also or she's from Mars. She's not a belter. She's a Martian. So
She's Mars. Yes.
she grew up in the 0G. Not only is she
She grew up in 3rd G.
and yeah, not only
That's Mars.
is she a Martian, but she's also oh, it's gonna kill me.
What? She's a Marine for the Martian Marine Corps.
No, like her race.
What do you mean? Excuse me.
Golly. All right, we're gonna have to cut this out because I don't know if it's gonna be
What do
racist
you
or
mean?
not. But like Maui.
Are you so yeah,
What is
you're
that?
talking about
Not Swahili.
whoa. Be careful. No, that's like Hawaiian,
Yeah, the
oceanic.
what are they called? Let me
I
just
can't
look it up.
remember.
I'm just gonna have to look it
Oh,
up.
so that we don't embarrass
I
ourselves
definitely
already like
don't
we
want to
already have.
sound racist at all. Okay.
You racist.
No.
Yeah, but so yeah, she's a big girl. Big girl. I was looking to see if I could find out exactly how tall she is. But it doesn't pop up here at the beginning.
I can look while you talk about her if you want.
Yeah, but okay, yeah. So yeah, I was talking about one of my favorite characters in season 1. It's like, we haven't met her yet. Bobby Draper is like peak. She's tied at number 1
Mm-hmm.
as one of my favorite characters. And then like Holden, he's got to be up there, but he's not my favorite. Naomi's really great. Basically, everybody on the Rocinante except for Holden are like pretty close to tied in for like top 2 to 3.
Polynesian.
Polynesian. Oh yeah.
That
There
is,
you
she is Polynesian, and that is a fact. It's not racial by. She's Polynesian. It says it in the book, and she
Yeah,
and Alex is. Never mind.
Stop. Okay. Yeah. So
she's Polynesian.
yeah. So she's a big girl, and
Mm-hmm.
like she does it well. It's not like a big girl. Like she's chonky. She's a big girl. It's like,
Well, she's what you. I remember the first time you got out of boot camp in the Marines. I was like, so you worked with a bunch of girls, and you're like, yeah, but these aren't like, I don't want to say not pretty girls, but they're the kind of girls that'll be like, I'll eat that tree. And you're like, oh, okay, I don't want to mess with them at all.
yeah. She's well. I mean, she's a Marine. A Martian Marine, but regardless. So yeah. So chapter 1. Let's get into it because we've been walking around it this whole time. But chapter 1. So she's out there like on patrol with her other dudes, and she's such a big girl that like she's got to have an old school suit because like they don't make suits in her size anymore, I guess. But like she takes a break, takes a knee, got to put some new oil in her old busted knee, and all that. So it introduces her that she's got an older suit, like in chapter 1. Then they're like doing their little patrol thing, and I don't remember exactly when they notice or if like the comms don't drop out first, but they're like, hey, yo, there's a bunch of like UNN guys running at us, and so I think the Marines too, the UN Marines, running at them from across like no man's land between these two encampments or whatever they are, and they post up. They put a line, and they're all sitting there, and then like the comms go out, and so she's like, you know what? We've trained so much that my other guys, they're gonna know like once I start opening up and like firing, like they're gonna start firing too, and so she
Yep.
doesn't have to be like, "Hey, wait till you see the whites in their eyes." Oh, you know, they know what to do, and so they come in, and she notices like before they actually start shooting, I think she notices that they're not like running at the Martians, they're
Hmm.
running from something. And so she's like watching, and like it actually like kills one of the like UN Marines before like they start opening fire. And then they kind of like focus fire on this thing, and it just tanks it, man. It's just like it keeps running at them. And then they have like a dude in like a power suit or a mech or whatever you want to call it. I don't remember how they call it in the book, but power armor, you know, but
Yeah.
he basically just goes and like rips the dude's arms off, and you're just like, holy smokes, like what's going on
Yeah.
here?
It,
Long story short, he kills the thing kills everyone except for Bobby, and like it's like standing over top of Bobby and about to like kill her, and then like an extra arm like shoots out of its chest, then it goes like its eyes go like and then it just like explodes.
hmm And then she's sitting there like, what? And then just passes out.
Well, it's like the explosion just like shoots
Oh,
her off
yeah.
because
Doesn't
they're
she
like
get
on the
like,
moon and it's like covered in ice or something, and she's just
doesn't
like,
she like slam into something and then she's just like, ouch, and then pass out? I can't remember, but I know, yeah,
playing with
dang.
Legos. Yeah. And so they find her later on. They're like, yeah, I don't remember exactly the details of how far she was, but like she was pretty far away from where it all
Yeah.
happened. And they take her back. Some drama about getting the video files off of her phone or off,
Hmm.
off of her suit because she
And
had
I
an
think,
older model.
yeah, and what's cool about it is where the camera is actually in the arm, like where the gun is. So when they're
Oh,
like,
really?
show me the
I
gun
didn't catch that.
cam, yeah, like so they have clear, precise footage of like what you're actually shooting at, and
Mhm.
it's they call up that nerdy guy, and he's like, "Oh wait, you have a mark, and then they're like, "What does that mean?" And then Bobby's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. My suit needs encrypted data to view the thing." And they're like, "Oh well, if you're lying, we're gonna shoot you right here." And then it flips on,
Yeah.
and you see this like big black thing, like killing all this stuff. And they're like, "Oh, okay, everyone out of the room right now, go!"
Yeah. So she gets exonerated from because they were basically didn't believe her.
Yeah.
Uh, but by the end of it, they're like, oh, okay. So like she has to go talk to people about it because they're like, what happened on Ganymede? And she's the only witness.
Mm-hmm.
So other things happened around Ganymede. There was a space battle that started happening up in the sky above Ganymede as soon as the
Yeah.
Martians started firing, and caused one of the giant mirrors to fall out of the sky and nearly almost kill Prax. So tell me what you think about Prex. I almost knew that you were gonna do that, but I feel kind of bad for setting you up, letting that happen that easy.
No, it's okay. Let me be honest, because he gets better through the book. He gets better, but in my
Yeah,
opinion,
but
he's
he gets
still
better.
the first chapter burnt my mind into being like, duh, this guy, I hate him. Like he's just, I get his cause. Like he's like, I gotta find my little girl, but he's such a
Yeah,
baby. Like the whole
yeah.
giant mirror that he works in is falling down, and he's like, my rutabagas, and he like,
I think they're soybeans.
what soybean rutabaga? He runs back into
It doesn't
like
matter.
a mega $1 million giant mirrors flying down at him, and he's like,
Yeah,
hey, I gotta get my seeds. I'm like,
yeah.
really? And then, at that point, I'm like, this guy's either really stupid or courageous. And then he starts to talk, and then I'm like, okay, he's just stupid.
He's just stupid.
He's so
Yeah.
stupid.
I mean,
Like, God bless his
technically, he's
soul.
like really smart.
Yeah,
Technically,
God.
he's really smart.
God
But
bless his soul and all of his careness for his daughter. But this man's, I mean,
he grows, but he grows from like a 3 to a 4.
I wouldn't even say he was a
Oh,
3. I mean,
oh, okay,
it's not that I didn't like
okay,
his character. It's just like the character I felt was made to be felt like that. You're like, just get over it. Like, come on. So it brings in
yeah.
other
It brings some
dynamics.
color.
Yeah, it
It brings
brings in
some
other
color to the
dynamics with
cast.
the other characters, which you get into later on in the book, where you're like, yeah, do that, get him to do that, and you're just like,
Yeah,
finally, goodness.
yeah. So
Ugh.
I
It's
mean,
like watching somebody's infant, and you're like, hey, take care of, get your infant's about to fall, sir, your infant, and then they finally get the infant, and you're like,
infant.
oh gosh, thank goodness. That's how Prax
Your
is through this book.
your infant.
Get your infant, sure.
Uh, yeah. So basically, his story is he's trying to track down his daughter, because of course she's May. She's been abducted. He's worried for her health because she's got to take pills every day. Eventually, he finds out that like her doctor was the one that abducted her. So he gets like a little ray of hope, and
Mm,
that like, hey, if his doctor abducted her, he would know that she needs to take medicine or else she's gonna die. And there's no reason for him to abduct her just to let her die. So,
yeah.
but at the same time, it's like, why are you abducting children? You know, like
Yeah.
like, oh, he's not gonna let her die. Like, but he abducted her. So like,
And he
there's
tries
not
to
a
have
lot of
that
hope there.
rational thinking where he was like saying he's like, well, maybe he's taking them to a safe place, you know? And then he sees the video and he's like, that's not a safe place. Where are you going?
Yeah, so he hires I almost said hooker, not a hooker. He
Pretty
hires
same
the
thing.
hacker to figure out where his daughter went, and the hacker's like, "Yo, bro, like here's the information you wanted," and then he's like, "Can you get me more?" He's like, "Oh, you gotta bring me a can of chicken." I was like, oh, "God, gross."
Yeah,
But
because at
I
the
guess I
time,
guess
when because Ganymede's go into crap, dude, it's like no
yeah,
money isn't worth anything because there's no trade
no,
systems coming in. There's nothing coming out. I mean, so the guys are just like, "Hey, you want to give me some chicken?" And Prax is like, "How am I gonna like real chicken? Because I can probably get you some
yeah,
protein based chicken." And he's like, "No, I want the real chicken." And right
yeah.
then and there, I was
So
like, "Man, Prax, I hope this guy does not ever give you what you want."
I hope your daughter dies almost.
I know.
Yeah.
I hope they find her. I was the whole, I want him to succeed. Just
Mm.
stop
Yeah.
being yourself.
Stop
Like,
hating Prax so much. Yeah. So
don't
well,
be you. Okay.
that's what Holden's doing is he's on a relief mission from Tycho Station with like relief supplies, right? With like food and junk. Because
Yeah.
Ganymede exports like billions of tons of foodstuffs. It's like the biggest food producing place ever.
Yeah.
But it's not owned by the people. It's owned by companies and the people work for the companies. And so like that's one thing that Holden was doing. Like, why are we waiting so long? Like, what's the holdup? And they're like, oh, all these like ships got to leave. I'm like, well, what's on the ships? It's like tons and tons of food. It's like, why do they need relief supplies? It's like because they don't own the food, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's what the Rossi crew are doing is they're bringing like relief supplies to Ganymede, and at the very end, well, at the very end of like chapter 10, Prax notices Holden and he's like, that's the guy I need to ask for help, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because he's like, that guy will help anybody. He'll stand up for the
I
little
think
guy.
I think if I remember correctly, I think Amos is like, "Hey boss, there's this guy following us." And Holmes like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, it's this weird dude. Is that not?"
That doesn't happen before the end of chapter 10.
Oh, okay.
Chapter 10 is basically Prax like looking across a crowd of people and seeing
Okay.
Holden over there, and he's like, I think that's Holden. I need to ask him.
Yeah.
I don't know why I think Brax sounds like that, but ooh, there's Holden. Let me think of that guy.
I
But
feel
yeah.
like he's like, hey guys, can you help me find my daughter?
Yeah. Well, so like when Holden like actually gets there, I say Holden, I mean like the Rosie crew sans Alex because he's not there, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
When they get there, like they start like coming off of their ship onto the station, and like some dude in like a uniform's like, hey yo, I'm like dock security or whatever, like give me your like receipt of all the stuff you got on your ship. And he's like, we're gonna have to go through this stuff. And Holden like instantly knows, he's like, dude, you're trying to like do some shady stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
And Holden's like, I've already dealt with enough crap today, so like if you don't get your stuff in order and leave us alone, like I'm about half tempted to let this guy behind me like just do whatever he wants. And he seems frustrated right now.
Yeah.
And he's talking about Amos, of course, and
Like the
Amos is
look
like,
in
I
Amos's
can't wait
eyes,
here.
you know.
I could just imagine like, I can rip your ears off.
I just imagine it. Holden's talking, and like Amos is like trying to catch a butterfly or something in the air. He's just like, and then they're like, "See that guy over there?" And they're like, "Yeah, he'll kill you." And then it like pans down to him, like straight face into the camera, like, you know. And they're like,
Just
"Oh,
like,
okay."
yeah. So that's a Holden story. They didn't do a whole lot. I mean, they did it a lot, I guess, but it was a lot of like setup. Nothing really big happened. It was a lot of setup. There's some Christian Avasarala stuff. She's talking to Jules Pierre Mal and asking him if Julie has contacted him since the crash on Venus, and he's like, the heck, like you crazy or something? And he gets angry with her, but she's like she's keen enough to know that he's like hiding something.
Well, yeah,
It's
because
kind of like a
she's
fake angry.
well, the fact that he got angry, she like sensed that. You good?
Yeah, no, I just didn't want anyone to hear that.
Oh, okay. The fact that he was angry was how she seemed, or how she saw through that he did have something to do, because she was like, this wasn't something to get angry about what I'm talking about. There's no sense of why would you be mad about what we're talking about. So she's like, obviously there's something that he knows and I'm gonna find out. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, so she's done some political things too, as well, just to keep war from breaking out. But I mean, that's kind of like that's kind of it for the first 10 chapters. We're so woo chapters prologue through chapter 10 done. Our next podcast will probably be chapters 11 through 20. And if it's not chapters 11 through 20, it'll be something else like Murderbot or Hell Divers, because we're both reading both of those, and we're going to be like throwing those in as other listenings that we're doing. I've read again, like most of our podcast history, I've read both of them, and Nathan will be like reading for the first time, and I'll be rereading them as we go through. So yeah, look forward to that. Murderbot is really short. Like each book is less than 200 pages, so we might break it down to like chapters 1 through 50% of the book done. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I
first
just
100
need
pages.
I haven't read it because I don't know how to get a hold of it.
Yeah. So once you do, it's quick and easy, and it's actually some pretty good stuff. And if I was telling him earlier, I was like, hey, once you get past like book 4, I think, like you start reading Murderbot, and you're like, whoa, is this like the same universe? You know, it's without spoiling anything, it's like, oh, these could like fit into like the same universe. Pretty cool stuff. But yeah, look forward to that. Man, if you got questions or comments or concerns or whatever, email us at spaceoperadio@gmail.com.
And if you like, if you like this setup, how we did this, maybe you want to see some videos. Maybe we could start reviewing some movies you guys suggest us. It's whatever. We're up for whatever you guys want us to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're nerdy and 30.
Yeah, that's true.
I am.
I'm nerdy and 30. Isn't it 30 and flirty? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, but I'm not good at that, so.
Oh. Well, I mean, you could always try, right? Like, what are you talking about right now? Oh,
All right.
yeet. Did you hear that?
Nope.
Good. All right. So, hey, I've been your host, Philip Lands, and with me tonight has been,
Your host, Nathan Lands.
and you've been listening to Space Opera Radio.
I gave it a cold. I gave it a virus. Virus.
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Doc, just walk into the store and buy plutonium. Did you rip that off?
You want to play a game? Here's what happens if you lose.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Steel isn't strong, boy. Flesh is stronger.
Get to the chopper!